All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at opening and saving some documents. We've had some trouble with people opening and saving documents recently, so we're going to look at this and practice a little bit. First thing I want you to do is open up your OSNAP Circle practice drawing. Now when you open that up, you just can't come out here and click on the OSNAP Circle practice drawing because on my screen I have 4 different ones there shown. I don't know which one of those is actually mine. If I just randomly click on one of them, I might be opening up one off the network drive, off the O drive, off of my M drive, wherever, one of your students off the M drive. I really don't know. So I want you to get used to, instead of just clicking there and not knowing what you're opening, actually, and you can pause on it here and look if you take the time to do that of where you're opening it from, but I want you to get used to going to the A up here in the top corner, down to open. We are going to open a drawing, and then we're going to go to where we need to open this at. So where we need to open this from is your activity folder. Your activity folder, remember, is on your M drive. If you hit this down arrow, mine shows just a little bit different than yours, but Students M. You should see something that says Students and M on it, and that's your individual M drive. I don't want to go there because if I go there on my computer, I see all your M drives. I just want to go to the CAD 1, or I want you to go to your CAD 1 and 2 folder on the Students M drive. I'm going to click here because that's where my CAD 1 and 2 folder is. So I'm going to go to CAD 1 and 2. I'm going to go to my activity folder, and in there I should see the OSNAP Circle practice drawing. And that's great. If I see it there, you've done it correctly, and it's there. If you don't see it there, then you did not do this drawing correctly. You did not save it correctly. This is what mine looks like that was saved there. Nothing's completed on it. But now, what I want you to do also is when you save, you just can't go up here and click on the disk and click Save on the disk. You need to get used to going to the A and going down to Save As. The reason you go to the Save As is because that way you know exactly where you're saving it to. You can pick your directory to save it to, and you're not just going to save it back to where it was. If you went to Save on this drawing when you opened it up before, you were trying to save it back to the O drive. It wouldn't have saved there, and then maybe you would have lost all your information if you didn't notice that it gave you a little message that it couldn't save there. So you need to get used to going Save As. When you go Save As, once again, you're going to go to your M drive. You're going to go to your CAD 1-2 folder, your activity folder, and you're going to save this there as OSNAP Circle Practice there on your M drive. If you don't have yours saved there, you need to make sure and get yours saved there. And from here on out, you need to make sure you save all your drawings there to the correct folder that it says. On your objective sheet, it'll tell you every day what folder to save it to, whether it's activity, practice, independent work, test, or quiz. It'll tell you where to save everything to and tell you what to save it as. So just pay attention there and make sure you get it saved. So here I'd go Save. It's going to ask me, do I want to replace it? Yes, I do. And there I got the new one there on the M drive replaced where it should be. All right. Hopefully that's enough there. And hopefully everybody will understand how to save. If you didn't get through that, just ask me individually and I'll help you and walk you through it again, where to save and how to save. But we really need to make sure we're having everyone save their drawings to the correct places on the M drive. All right. From there, next, we're going to go and start a new drawing. So I'm going to go up here and hit my plus sign and open up a new drawing. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a drawing from your Applying AutoCAD book. That's that green book that's in front of you. Some of you have covers on them, some of you do not. The books are in rough shape. It is a 2008 version book. That would really bother me if we use those books and I told you, hey, turn to chapter 3 and do the first exercise on chapter 3. And you follow through the book step by step on how to do that assignment. That's really not the way we use the book. We use the back of the book a lot later on, where it just has problems. We just look at the problems in the book and we've picked the drawings from there. Today we're going to do some from the back of chapter 5. It's actually specifically 513, 521, and 522. Again, you'll see that in your objective list. But first I'm going to step you through a little bit on how to get started on 513. So 513 is on page 60 in that green Applying AutoCAD book. So turn to page 60 and we'll get started. Okay, to start on this, I want to give you a logical way to start drawings. Any drawing in general, just a good logical way to start it. Almost all of our drawings we're going to have will have some sort of a circular part to them. If they do, a great way to start your drawing is just with a couple of center lines. So I'm going to start first with a center line side to side here. Then next, if you look at the drawing, I have a circular part that's over here on the left side of that drawing. I'm going to use my skills, and again, all of my settings that are set down here, to draw a perpendicular line to that goes across like this. Notice my polar is taking over there. There, that's not straight, but there it locks into straight. So that perpendicular line there. And then for this drawing, I'm going to start a circle. And I want to make sure that I attach my circle on that intersection right there. The X shows the intersection. I don't want to go to the midpoint. I want to go and make sure I pick that intersection there. I'm getting the perpendicular point, and it's on that corner, so that would be okay. But you really need to start recognizing those O snaps and knowing what an X or what a triangle shows. So there is my center point, or midpoint, intersection of those two. On this one, there are no dimensions on this, so we're just going to make it look approximately like the book, and I think that size is about the right scale for me to fit in the rest of my drawing. From there, next, I want to make that hexagon shape, which is the polygon command. So I'm going to go POL for polygon. First question it asks me is number of sides. I'm going to go 6. And I'm going to pick my center point right there again. And now it asks me the inscribed or circumscribed option. If you look at the book, is it around the inside or the outside of the circle? Well, it goes around the outside of the circle, my polygon. So I'm going to use the circumscribed option. And then next, does the flat portion of this go up and down, or does it go left and right? Well, the flat portion goes left to right, so I'm going to come right over here to that quadrant and click right there. And there I've got my polygon drawn. Now next for this. Next, if you don't notice what this is in the book there, it is showing you the top view, the side view of a bolt, and then the side view of the nut that would go on that bolt. So now I'm going to draw the side view of the bolt. So to draw the side view, I can't just come over here like this and draw in that side view of the bolt right there. That just doesn't work. That's not using my skills. I've got to use some of my skills to do this. So I'm going to get rid of that one, and I'm going to try again. So again, on this, using the skills you've been learning is, I'm going to use some tracking. It has to be exactly the same height as this top view. So I'm going to track it across from that point right there. Notice my dashed line appears there. I'm going to draw it here. The thickness of this, I don't have any measurements again, so I'm just going to try to make it look kind of like the book. Come down to about there maybe. And down to here. Now where I come down to here, again, I have to use tracking again. And track that across right to there. Notice my 2 dashed lines appearing there. Track back this direction and make it the same length there. And right there, I really used my tracking and used some of those skills I've been learning to do this. Now I'm going to repeat my line command. And this time, once again, this line that goes across here. I just can't come in there and guess where that line goes, but I have to track from that corner. It lines up exactly with that corner, straight across right there to there. And once again, from that corner, straight across from there to there. So again, really using my skills there to get some of this done. Next, it's kind of hard to tell in the book, but this is made up, this little top portion here is made up of an arc that goes right here, another arc that goes here, and a third arc that goes here. To do those arcs, I really need a line in this position, just a layout line, to draw from. It makes it a lot easier. So to do that, I'm going to use the offset command. So I'm going to go O, enter for offset. And I missed the O. O, enter for offset. And then I'm going to use this option down here. It's the through option. To use the through option, I'm just going to hit enter. I'm going to pick my object to offset. And I'm going to click over here anywhere. I can click left or right, but I'm going to come over here just a little bit to the right, about right there, and click. That's where those arcs are going to go in. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw the arc. A, enter for arc. I'm going to start my arc right there on that intersection. It is giving me that perpendicular symbol, but it is on the intersection there, so that's good. So I'm going to go there to that midpoint to there. That's got my first arc in there. Next, I'm going to put another arc down here on the bottom. I'm going to start it right there on that end point. For this next point of it, I want to pick a point that's right there, but if I click there, it's going to go and connect down here to this end point. So this is one I don't tell you to use very often. Actually, most of the time I tell you to avoid it. I'm going to go to the nearest point, NEA. Nearest there, and then to there. But now, however, With doing it that way to this nearest point, it didn't get this arc perfectly in the right spot. And we're in AutoCAD. We need to make sure our lines are tangent and all that good stuff. So I'm going to zoom in here on this. I'm going to click on and select that arc. Now, oh, I did get it really close though. But there, notice where it's not quite on that line. I'm going to grab that grip. So I clicked on it again to select the arc with grips. I'm going to grab that grip, click on it, and drag it right there perpendicular to that line. Now that has it meeting and ending perfectly on that line, and that's exactly what I want. So now with that, I'm only going to draw the bottom of this, because there is a command you can use once we draw the bottom of this here, draw the bottom of the bolt here, draw the bottom of the other details of it down here, and maybe the details of the nut. Once I draw the bottom half, there's this command, I can't remember what it is, that you can put it on the top half. I don't remember what that is. Hopefully you've thought about it by now, but it actually is called mirror. And we're going to mirror it from the center line and mirror those things to the top. That's the way I would do this drawing, instead of drawing everything on the top and the bottom. That gets kind of repetitive. Use your skills and get efficient with CAD is what I'm really looking for. All right, so now, to finish up this part though, now for a little bit, I'm going to erase out that line. I'm going to use trim up that little piece there, trim off those two pieces there. And now the bottom half of this is really looking pretty good as comparison to the book. You go ahead and you'd add in this little thickness of this washer that goes here, if you notice it in the book. But the next thing I really want to show you is this portion, which is for the actual bolt itself. I again would just use offset and through. So I'm going to go O for offset. I'm going to hit enter for the through option. I'm going to offset that center line down and through. Now, if you look at the book, it doesn't really go through right there on that point. It comes just a little bit below it. So I'm going to go about right there. Now, I can't just click this one and do the same thing up here and eyeball where it gets, because that's not going to be precise. This is where we're going to mirror this line to the top in just a little bit on one of your next steps. So again, I would trim off that bolt there, maybe get rid of that portion of it and that portion of it. And now this is there ready for you. Before you do any mirroring, I would go ahead and come down here and put an end on this thing. And go ahead and maybe do your chamfer here on this end. That's a little angled line on the end. And then you could mirror that to the other side, or wait until you draw your nut down here and then mirror it to the other side. Now the thing with your nut is going to be exactly the same size as the head of your bolt. So you're going to track across there using your tracking and draw in the nut down here. And using the same method as what you did here for these arcs would be great. All right, so that's that. Good luck on that. I'm going to let you finish that up on your own. And then you can save that as Fig 5-13 and upload it to Student View. Now next, what I want to show you just real quick, you're going to turn to page 656 in the back of your book, and we're going to look at problem 10. All right, for this, if you didn't notice what I was doing just a moment ago, I didn't mention that, I want you to pan over to the side. So just click and hold with your middle mouse button over to the side, and over here, we're going to do that drawing 10. Now I want you to think about how I asked you to start this drawing, kind of a nice logical way to start it. If you look at the drawing, it has some circles on it. So if you have circles on a drawing, a good common way of starting that with is with a couple of center lines. So I'm going to draw one center line there, going to draw another center line up and down, and there I'm going to start my circles. So I'm going to start a circle right there on that point. And now with this one of the reasons why I'm showing you this today is on the top there it says 2x, a little circle with a slash through it, 0.74. What that circle with a slash through it means is that's the diameter symbol. So this is telling you this is a diameter of 0.74. Right now the computer is asking me for a radius. So you need to hit D, enter. Now it's showing diameter, and I'm going to go 0.74 for the diameter of that. It is very small. My center lines are very large there, so I just need to zoom in there on it. Next, I need to draw my other circle. This one is a radius of 0.7. It's asking for a radius right now, so I'm just going to type 0.7 and hit enter. So there that is. That's done. Now, I have to look how far over is this other circle. It's 2.7 inches over from the center line. So I'm going to offset 2.7 over from that center line to there. And then down, it is 0.7 down. So I'm going to offset down 0.7. From there, I'm going to go really fast here on this next couple steps because I'm about out of time on my video. I'm going to copy that circle down to there, center to center. And then I'm just going to trim this up. And I'm going to go TR, enter, enter. Trim all the way across, trim there, trim there, trim there, and trim there. And then erase.